All right. People always running around saying, hold on, wait a minute, hold on. People always running around, which I know is ignorant. They always running around saying all white people are not the same. Look, man, that's stupid, ignorant logic. If you take these shorts right here and you cut a piece of these shorts off, does that make these shorts different from the from the piece that I cut off? No, they all is a product of each other. So why would people say, just like every so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native American people, they all have the same spirit? When we come in different colors, but it does not change the DNA, the spirit of the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native American people, which are the real Jews according to the Bible. Them fake Jews that's over there in Israel now, they are damn lie, and they ain't nothing but an apostle over there in Israel. They apostle, fake ass Jews. Yes, I said it. I'm on camera saying the shit. They not the real Jews. We living over here in America. It's a possibility is that we fit the curses over here. So how can they fit? How can they claim to be the real Jew? No, they not the real Jew. I do know that for a fact. How can they be claim to be the real Jew, but they don't fit none of them prophecies? They don't fit none of the curses in that. Okay, now let's go back to the example. I love that example that I made. If you look at, let's see here, this would be good right here. If you look at this hanger here, this hanger is the same. This hanger is the same. If I take and chop a piece of this hanger off right here and cut this part off from this hanger, does that change that piece of that I cut off to be like the rest of the other piece? No, they both is the same product because it takes every pieces to make up this whole of this whole hanger. It's sad that you got to use these kind of examples to break it down to how Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans will argue you down. They don't use logic in what they are saying. When they look at the so-called white man, they see them as the product of, they see them as the cream of the crop. They see them as gods. When they are the God, we are the gods. You see what I'm saying? You cannot go around here and say that all white people, all of them are not like that. You is speaking, you is so illogical. And I hate when people speak ignorant like that because let me tell you something. All white people, so-called Caucasian people, and if you look at so-called black man, if you take a so-called black man and a so-called black man make and generate children, well, no matter what woman it is or what race of woman it is, them children is gonna come out his DNA. And they also gonna look different. If you take a so-called white person and they have children by every so-called white woman, them children is gonna still be so-called Caucasian children. You see what I'm saying? Because they are of that man's DNA. When have you ever looked around? You seen so-called Caucasian people come in different colors and shades and colors. Although they can, but for the most part, all so-called white people have the same spirit. All of them got the same spirit. They do. Every last one of them got the same spirit. Regardless of how you slice it or dice it, they all still got the same spirit. That you still got DNA of so-called white people. If a so-called white man have children by a so-called black woman or any race of woman there is, and if it's a so-called Caucasian, that child is still a Caucasian child. If a so-called black man, a Native American, Hispanic, Native American man, get with no matter what race of woman that is, and have a child by whatever race of woman, a Filipino or whatever woman, a Japanese, no matter what, that child is still gonna be a so-called black child. That's just the way it is because it's the product of it. If you take a whole chocolate cake, just like I said, this whole hanger, and you cut half of it off, it's not going to negate, it's not going to negate or make a negotiation that it's a different piece of a product from the piece you cut it off from. It's still, the only difference is you just cut it off. Does it change the product of it? No, it doesn't change the product. No matter how much you slice and dice and cut off, it's still not going to change it. Whether it's a small piece you cut off or a big portion you cut off, it is still the product of this same hanger here. Just like a cake, a chocolate cake. If you take a whole chocolate German cake or whatever, no matter how big or small you slice a piece off of that original cake, guess what? That little piece you sliced off is still the product of that big piece of cake you cut it from. It's still a chocolate. It's all still the same. It tastes the same. The only difference is you cut a piece off. Does it change it being a chocolate cake? No, it doesn't change it. No matter how many pieces or how small you slice the piece off, it still is 100% flavored chocolate cake. If you eat it, it's still got the same flavor as the piece you cut it off. It's still the chocolate cake. So I don't know why people want to be that ignorant and just exclude that and ignore that. The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, our people are the most rebellious when it comes to God. Our people are the most rebellious when it comes to, I'm going to eat my pork. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. We don't want to have, we don't even want to even consider. We ain't trying to hear nothing you got to say. And when it's like that, they be the main ones sitting up telling you they going to heaven. But don't even follow none of the commandments. Don't even try to follow no commandments. No. How in the hell is you going to sit around and say that, oh, it doesn't matter as long as eating this and eating that. If you believe that's going to get you into heaven, then happy to you. They just speak ignorant when they don't even come up to the fact and be like, okay, you don't believe in obedience to the Most High God? You don't believe in obedience? You don't believe in obedience? Why would he tell you is to refrain from certain things? That's to protect you from the germs and the sicknesses that you will get. If you go out and he tell you don't sleep with another man, because if you sleep with another man or another woman sleep with another woman, you sleep with multiple women, or you sleep with multiple men, being a gay person or whatever, guess what's going to happen to you? You're going to get AIDS. Why do you think he laid down the law and told you, look, if you do this or that, this is what's going to happen to you? Deuteronomy 28:15, it tells you that. It clearly tells you that don't do it, because if you do, you're going to get AIDS, you're going to get this. We know it happened to somebody that we knew that lives here. When you don't listen and follow that law, the diabetes, sicknesses, and everything else come and break your body down. When you don't listen, that's what happens. Did not the old mothers and the fathers say a disobedient child will not live his days out? Did they say that? They taught that to us. They said, well, if a disobedient child would not live their days out. We heard it when we was kids. They would tell us these things. Look, if you do this or that, you're not going to live long. And we like, and then when it started happening, then now they run into the doctor trying to get medicine for it. Now the doctor's trying to kill them. When you could have just listened from the beginning, and you could have eliminated a lot of those things. Now you are taking 15, 16 different doses of medication. And you sitting up talking about, oh, all white people are not the same. That's just like saying all black people, we may be look different, but we all got the same spirit. When it comes to the spirit and the passion and this and that, it's the same, but it doesn't change that DNA, partner. Every so-called black, Hispanic, and Native American got the same DNA. It ain't no such thing as a different DNA. No matter, oh, that's a good white, but baby, they so nice. Treat them white. Them white folks are so nice over there. It doesn't change their DNA from being what it is. I can go around and help people all day. It's not going to change my skin color. It's not going to change how I look. It's not going to change my DNA from who I am. It's not going to change. It's not going to do nothing. I'm still going to be the same. The DNA is still going to be the same. That's all I'm saying. So I'm up out of here, and I'm going to see y'all later, and we're going to talk a little bit later. And I'm gonna say peace out. And I love my people, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American people, which are the real Jews according to the Bible. Now I'm out.